Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing better than yesterday's travesty. Let's have it right, yesterday was an absolute disaster and we are now facing a predicament where we are all patiently waiting for news to come through that Lampard has lost his job. And it's sad that it's come to this, it really is devastating for many because we really hoped and prayed that it would be a success under Lampard. A club legend like Lampard as the manager, but those doubts that we had at the very beginning, if you remember, when we all said we're scared he's inexperienced, we're scared that it's not going to work, but if he comes then great because it's Frank Lampard. Well, that's all resurfaced again. And, you know, rightfully so. When you look at the game that we had yesterday against Leicester and results prior to that, it's all gone absolutely mental. But before I get into all of the details, I'm going to talk about two things. Firstly, I'm going to ask you guys, if you are new, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. And secondly, I done a little collab, a little bit of a stream with none other than the Grand Dam. If you haven't heard of him, do check out the video that we done together. You'll find the link right here and in the description. Make sure you follow, give him a sub, enjoy what he produces because he's a nice character and a very good mind that talks about Chelsea Football Club on a regular. So do go over there and check it out. I'm sure you're going to enjoy the hour-long conversation that we had regarding yesterday's loss, Frank Lampard, other candidates, football in 2021. We covered it all. Make sure you check it out and enjoy. Now let's get into today's nitty-gritty. We all woke up this morning expecting the chance that there's news that Frank Lampard is gone. Now that hasn't happened yet, and I'm going to give you a bit of news from some very reliable connections. We know the names, we know the journalists that are very well connected with Chelsea Football Club. They have all spoken and they've all come out with news. So let's get into it, starting off with Matt Law. Take it away. Frank Lampard fighting to save Chelsea job with Roman Abramovich considering options, according to Matt Law. Julian Nagelsmann top target if Lampard is sacked. And he went on to write an article on the Telegraph explaining exactly what's going on with Frank Lampard at Chelsea Football Club as of today and the doubts that Roman and the board have. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens and who Abramovich is going to consider. But Julian Nagelsmann is a name that's on the list. The only thing that we can't do is snap him now, because he's at RB Leipzig, and that's going to go on until the end of the season, at least. If we're going to get Nagelsmann, that's not going to happen halfway through a season. That's going to happen in the summer, which means that we would need to go for an interim. And who's going to come in as an interim? I can't think of any names except maybe Avram Grant and Gus Hiddink for a third time. How about we get Gus for, party number 3? That's the option, and Matt Law goes into detail in the article that he wrote on the Telegraph. But we have more news in regards to Fabrizio Romano and some of the information that he let out earlier on today, saying this: no decision has been made on Frank Lampard yet, but the board are furious with what is going on and something could happen in the coming hours. That's Fabrizio Romano on the Here We Go podcast. He also mentions that Thomas Tuchel is one of the main potential replacements. So even Fabrizio Romano has had his 2 cents into the story and said pretty much what others have been saying as well. And what Simon Johnson has been saying prior to the Leicester game, where it's a matter of when, not if. And if results don't improve, it could be sooner. And that's exactly what it's come to now. It seems like the board are fuming. Roman is fuming. We know that something is bound to happen. If it's not today, it's tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it's the day after. But it's going to happen. I think that is something that we need to accept. Frank Lampard right now is in a situation where no other Chelsea manager has survived at this point. No other manager. And by far, they haven't survived. So I look at this and I think, this is done. It's done. Anyway, I'm going to give you my opinion on the entire story very shortly, but we have more from Yanage Fjortov. Now, he says this in regards to Thomas Tuchel, which Fabrizio Romano has mentioned about as well. Let's hear what Yanage has to say. R.E. Tuchel. Agents and Chelsea representatives have been talking about bringing Tuchel in. I understand no decision has been made in terms of Lampard yet, but if he goes, Tuchel is seen as the best replacement in the middle of the season. And that's the truth. That is the truth. We have 2 avenues we can take with this. We either get rid of Lamps now and we get a direct replacement in. And if we're getting a direct replacement, there's only 2 names that I can think of that are suitable enough to be able to even be approached by a club like Chelsea. We have Thomas Tuchel, we have Max Allegri. It's one of them. It's got to be one of them. And if we decide not to, we get an interim in to accommodate us to get someone in the summer. That opens up more options, but it does mean waiting to the summer. And that means we could have Nagelsmann as an option. We could have Hasenhüttl of Southampton as an option. There was news earlier on that Chelsea are pursuing a German-speaking manager. And this came from The Athletic. Check this out. Chelsea hierarchy open to the idea of next manager being German speaker. Tuchel, Nagelsmann, Rangnick among options. Tap into influence of Bundesliga and bring best out of Werner, Havertz and others would also sit well in the Chelsea club structure. That's from The Athletic. Now, in The Athletic, you have journalists like Simon Johnson, for example, writing for them that we know is one of the most connected people with Chelsea Football Club. All the signs are pointing in one direction, and that direction is Lampard is about to lose his job. And that's the truth. That is what it's come to. Now, we have a dilemma here. Does Lampard get the sack now, or does he get the sack in 2 or 3 games' time? Personally, I hate to be the one to say this, especially when it comes to a club legend like Frank Lampard, but the truth is the truth. And right now, based on the games that we are playing, I personally am not seeing anything. No signs whatsoever that it's going to get better. And nothing from the players to show that they are even fighting for the manager or for themselves. Yesterday against Leicester, we saw no energy at all. And this isn't the first time. We thought maybe after beating Fulham, we lost to City. We started hearing about articles being released at full time. We started hearing about whispers that Lampard could be on the brink. We won a cup game against Morecambe, but after that, yes, we beat Fulham very, very narrowly. And after that, against Leicester, as we saw yesterday, we've gone right back to square one. It just seems like this is going to be the pattern. When we're playing against opposition that are there, that we know we're going to have a hard day against, we get beat. And that's the truth. And you can look at the schedule that we have coming up. We are in the perfect situation now, even if it wasn't Lampard, to get rid of a manager. Because we have to play against Luton. And then we have to play against Wolves at home. And then we play against Burnley. That's better than waiting until February and March when we have to play Spurs, we have to play Atletico twice, we have to play Man United, and we have to play Liverpool. I don't want to change managers in the middle of that because we could get absolutely destroyed. Let's have it right. If we play like we did yesterday against Spurs even, Atletico, Man United and Liverpool, honestly, the highlights probably would be illegal to upload onto YouTube. You know, it would be regarded as violating YouTube's terms and conditions. That's how deep it would get. So right now, for me, I see this as the perfect opportunity to get another man in, even if it's an interim. Allow him some time, at least, to accommodate himself, to get familiar with the players, to discover what he has to do, at least to an extent. Play against Luton, where that's an expected win, regardless of manager. And then we play against Wolves at home. Wolves that haven't been fantastic, even though they have the capabilities to beat us. And they beat us not that long ago. So, you know, they are a team that we have to be cautious about. But even after that, we have Burnley. It's the perfect set of fixtures that you kind of want for a new manager to familiarise himself with the team that he has available to him. Instead of having a new manager get thrown in against Atletico Madrid, Man United, Liverpool and Spurs. Like, no. It would be the perfect time now. So this is why I reckon it would be best for the inevitable to happen now. Just get it over and done with. And as far as I'm concerned, that would be the best option. Because at least if we had a sign to show us that it's going to get better, that we are going to improve on the pitch, it doesn't look like we are. Anyone can try and find one positive point from yesterday's game and tell me we can rely on that one point to take us forward and get better results in the games coming up. I can't find it. I'd be happy to ask you guys the question and let me know in the comments. If you do have a positive point, please let me know. I can't see it. And I don't want to wait until we have to get into that hard schedule for us to lose those games or get battered and then change a manager or take action or go until the end of the season the way we're playing now and end up, what, 14th, 15th? You know, because we can forget top 4 at that point. It would be accepting that we're not going to be playing in Europe next season. And that is something I don't think Roman Abramovich is going to do. So this is why I'm saying, right now, with all the things that we are hearing, no other Chelsea manager has survived it. I don't think it's going to be any different for Frank Lampard. Get the inevitable done. Now, we're going to have to cut ties, get someone in, whether it's an interim and then we wait until the end of the season, or we get Tuchel or Allegri. If you're asking for time to be given to a manager, I'm sorry, but in 2021, that's only relying on results. That depends on results, because you have to understand football has changed. We're not in an industry anymore where you can just give time because you want to give time. That's not how it works. You need the results. And as long as you're seeing the results, you give more time. And those results hopefully maintain themselves. And if it dips, not that far, but it dips a little bit, you understand and you go, okay, that's expected. You're not going to be winning every week. But as long as there's a standard and you're staying within a bracket of what you deem acceptable, you give the time. Right now in 2021, money talks. It's as simple as that. Money talks, and there's financial incentives. We miss out on top four. We don't get Champions League football. We miss out on revenue. We miss out on TV money. We miss out on sponsorships. It's a money game now. This is why you can't just give time for the sake of giving time. You need substance. And right now, we don't have any substance. And that's the truth. So this is why I'm saying make the change ASAP. And at least give some time for a new manager to come in, whether permanent or interim, to give himself at least an opportunity to familiarise himself with what he has to deal with against a Luton, against the Wolves and a Burnley before we play the big games, and hopefully we can do something against the big teams. But there we are. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your opinions on this one. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Be sure to catch the link in the description, as I've already pointed out, and in the cards over here to catch the conversation that I had on the Grand Dam's channel. Do subscribe to him, as I've said, and be sure to catch the live stream on Matisse's channel tomorrow that I will be doing with him and Miz from the other side of the coin, where we go into a little bit more detail first thing in the morning regarding Chelsea Football Club and the mess that we're in. So I'll catch all of you then, and then I'll do a video for you guys in the afternoon tomorrow as usual, as I do on this channel. So I'll see all of you then. Thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves. Have a good one. Take care and peace.